What is up guys, Newlimits here, and today I will show you how to play with every two-handed scythe upgrade you can get, how you play with the multipliers, and what skills you will use to get you the most prepared you can be when Season 22 starts November the 20th. I got Maltorius petrified spike every single time in my leveling guides. This was not on purpose, it's just what I got. Some people in the comments wanted to see the other weapons in action, so that's what we are doing today. I had to do a lot of testing to find the best build, so a like on this video would be highly appreciated, and subscribe for more content in the future. Let me know in the comments below what other videos you would like to see, and let's go. Alright, now I want to show you guys really quickly before we get started, that everybody just knows what I'm talking about. When you go get a cube at Ruins of Sescheron, you can then craft one of these, so a sovereign scythe, a level 70 scythe. You will craft this. You can then go to the cube, go to page 3, Hope of Cain, upgrade rare item. Once you put this in and you would fill that up and you would transmute it, you will get one of 4. So what you can get is either Maltorius petrified spike, you can get Nayr's Black Death, you can get Reilena's shadowhook, or you can get Bloodtide blade. So we're gonna discuss every single one of them and what you would do, what skills to use, what build to use, and just let's go. For the Bloodtide blade, that Nova deals 400% increased damage for every enemy within 25 yards. So basically it means if you have a lot of enemies around you, they will die. It's that simple. The skills that we're gonna use is Bone Spike. This is mainly an auto attack just to keep your massacre bonus up or to gain more essence back. Death Nova, Unstable Compound. Each cast increases the radius of your next Nova by 5 yards up to 2 times. This one is actually gonna help you deal even more damage because each enemy you hit with your Nova will deal more damage, and because your radius is more, you can actually have the potential to hit more enemies, which is more damage. Corpse Explosion is a choice. You could go for Corpse Explosion Bloody Mess because it have the most area damage. You could also go for Close Quarters because it just deals more damage. Or you can not go for Corpse Explosion, but you will most likely have the gloves for more damage. But what you could also do is go for Devour. So that will restore essence and will consume a corpse. You cannot use both of them because Corpse Explosion and Devour doesn't really work well together, so I wouldn't recommend that. But you can go for either. You have some really nice options here. You can go Satiated for more maximum life, more essence regeneration. Cannibalize restores your health, and Devouring Aura just gives you an aura and it picks it up automatically, so it's, you know, the more lazy version. I would then go for Blood Rush Potency for more armor. Aura of Frailty, you are emitting an aura that applies a crippling curse which kills enemies within 50 yards with less than 50% health. It's just gonna make sure that they blow up. And the range of this effect is increased, but it's not really gonna be increased much. And Bone Armor Dislocation, it stuns everybody around you, which is really nice of course, and it gives you 30% increased damage reduction once you have 10 stacks, which is really easy to get. Standalone for the extra armor. And here you have a choice. So for this build, I would actually really like to use it because it gives you just even more damage, but you might not even need it. But what this combination does, receive 1% damage for each enemy affected by one of your curses. You have the aura, so you just have to walk past them and the curse will automatically be put on them. And for each enemy you get 1%, so this can stack up really fast. And Eternal Torment makes it that it lasts forever. So you basically have to just walk around and you put all the curses on them. So this combination is really, really good. But you can also go for Rigor Mortis because you are using the poison variant here. And you can go for Final Service to have that extra life. Alright, so we're gonna be using the Bloodtide blade here. Our main focus is gonna be Blood Nova. What we want to do is we want to create as much density as we can. You can use your curse Decrepify to reduce the damage that they deal and they move a little bit slower. As you can see, the Blood Nova is just melting down everything. It is by far the best weapon you can have for the leveling process. It is absolutely amazing, but you have to make sure that you are hitting multiple enemies, because if you just use it on one, it's not gonna do anything. So what we have here is we have Corpse Explosion and Devour, as you can see on our bar. The reason for that is because there is no real good option. You could go with the Golem at level 16 to create some corpses to use with your Corpse Explosion, but as you can see, we're not really using the Corpse Explosion all that much anyways. You might want to use the Corpse Explosion more when you're on the Cursed Chest event, because Corpse Explosion does become very good. But the Devour is mainly to gain essence back so you can use your Blood Nova more. That's why it's at the moment on the bar. I mean, we're just rushing through it. You can use your Corpse Explosion, definitely if you have the gloves, but for this one you don't even need the gloves. The Blood Nova will do more than enough damage, all the damage that you need. Just make sure that you hit the most amount of enemies possible. You are gonna die, that is perfectly normal. Don't get frustrated if you die. It's really normal, you can get one-shot by pretty much everything. Or at least two-shot. So it's totally fine. Corpse Explosion, of course, does deal a lot of damage when you have the gloves. As you can see here, our damage with the Blood Nova is way less when you are just hitting one target. Now I changed to Unstable Compound. This is a lot more damage. Your radius will be increasing, you will hit more enemies, so your damage will also increase massively. Now we're going to the Cursed Chest event. We're just using the curse to get some damage mitigation. We make sure the little guys spawn too. They're gonna create corpses for us too. As you can see, the more enemies, we're just blowing them up. And here I kind of make a little mistake. I'm gonna use Devour in a little second. All the corpses disappear, and I would highly suggest when you have the gloves, Grasp of Essence, you really want to make use of the exploding corpses, like the Corpse Explosion, and not really the Blood Nova. If there is a lot of enemies, of course, you can use Blood Nova, but Corpse Explosions will definitely get the job done. As you can see, you're just clearing beautifully. Bloodtide Blade is just absolutely amazing. If you can get this one in Season 22, you're just absolutely golden. You're gonna be level 70 in no time. So we're already level 32. We were 16 when we just entered, so we just doubled our levels in one single run. And the best thing you can do actually now, I just want to show you more of how the build would work, but in a normal season or in a normal leveling process, I would backed off already. Once you've done the Cursed Chests, sometimes it's actually better to just leave. Because you gained a lot of levels, you're also not really gonna be strong anymore, your gear is gonna fall behind a little bit, you wanna buy new stuff from the merchant. So it's better to just leave, but this is just so juicy. It's amazing. And this is just because of the radius, it's just a huge area that you are hitting. So there we go. That was the Bloodtide Blade. Nayr's Black Death. Each different poison skill you use increases the damage of your poison skills by 100% for 15 seconds. So you got 15 seconds to use all of your poison skills, and then you will gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 500% increased damage. We're gonna use Bone Spikes as our essence regenerator. Gonna use Bone Spear, which does poison damage, and each enemy it passes through, it deals 15% more damage. So you already have 500% increased damage, and then you will deal even more damage each enemy it passes through. So this is actually very useful. Corpse Explosion, a massive damage dealer. Explode up to 5 corpses close to you, dealing 1575% weapon damage, which is absolutely huge with the 500% increased damage. Bone Spirit, we use this one because you can nuke somebody down. It deals 4000% weapon damage, so you can choose one target, kill it really fast, teleport to it, and blow it up with Corpse Explosion. And we're gonna use Bone Armor Dislocation. It's gonna give you another stack, but it also will give you 30% increased damage reduction when you have 10 stacks. We're gonna use Standalone because we have no pets, and it gives 100% increased armor. Rigor Mortis, poison abilities also slow enemies by 30% and reduce their attack speed by 30% for 5 seconds. And Final Service, just, you know, to get that extra life. Alright, so I'm gonna show you guys really quick how it would look like when you have all the skills available, which shouldn't take too long. You're gonna use your Dislocation, you're gonna auto attack, you're gonna throw your Bone Spear, you're gonna throw your Spirit, you're gonna make corpses, and then you just blow them up. We are playing at Torment 3 here, level 70, and we have basically nothing. Alright, so now we are gonna be using Nayr's Black Death. I thought this was actually the hardest one, but also the most fun. So it really has a lot of micromanagement that you have to do here. You want to make sure, right now we are using the Skeleton Mage, we are using the Contamination Rune because it's just a poison. We're using Blood Nova because it's also a poison rune from itself. Or a poison skill, I mean. And yeah, what we're just doing is we're trying to get all our stacks of the Nayrs. So you want to auto attack to get 1 stack. You want to throw your Bone Spear for the 2nd stack. You're going to use Blood Nova for the 3rd. And then your Contamination, your E for the last stack. Then you're going to throw Bone Spear because that's going to be your main damage. You're going to line everything up. You're going to create corpses. And those corpses you can then explode with your Corpse Explosion. It is not the easiest build, it's gonna require maybe a little bit of practice. Now it does work on Torment 6, you really have the damage for it. But maybe I would suggest you might have to go for Torment 5, because this is kinda difficult to play, it's a lot of micromanagement, you really need to make sure that you keep your stacks up. Once again, when you get to the Cursed Chest, you can just make full use of your gloves, you don't need to do anything else, you don't need to keep your stacks up, because the damage will be more than sufficient enough with your Corpse Explosion. If of course you did not get the Grasp of Essence, your chances are really high to get it. On average, you should get 1 gloves every 250 blood shards. I believe you get 465 from the Challenge Rift bag, but I could be mistaken. So you have more chance to get 2 Grasp of Essence gloves than to get none. So your chances are really high. I tested it a lot. You pretty much always get the gloves. You have to be very unlucky here. So Nayr's, it's definitely a viable option. It is really strong. It works very well. Here I'm just kind of changing it around because you get that extra skill. So what you want to do this when you are leveling. We were level 60 when we got in. We gained a lot of levels. You want to make sure if your massacre bonus has run out that you change your skills around a little bit to make sure that you have the best possible options. And you want to work towards the build that we just discussed, of course, that you just saw me explain, because that is the most easy way to play it. So yeah, you're just gonna Decrepify, get the damage reduction, you're gonna get all your stacks, you're gonna throw around your your Bone Spears, and you're gonna blow the corpses up. You want to get as fast as you can to the Poison Rune for Corpse Explosion, because then your damage just skyrockets. You have so much damage then. It is actually crazy. The art that we are now using with the Skeleton Mage, it's actually not that great, but it's one of the only options that we have right now with poison, so that's why we are using them. I actually had the most fun with this build. This was a little bit harder to play, but it was so much fun. For Maltorius Petrified Spike, Bone Spear now costs 40 essence and deals 700% increased damage. This would be a really nice weapon to get in Season 22 because you get the Bone Spear set for free when you complete a seasonal journey. So this would be absolutely amazing. I have done all my leveling guides with the Maltorius Petrified Spike. Not because I wanted to, but that's just the weapon that I always got. I actually believe Bloodtide Blade is better, and Maltorius Petrified Spike is probably the second best. For the leveling process, of course, I would rather have Maltorius Petrified Spike just because of the seasonal journey. How this build is gonna work, I'm gonna go over it pretty quickly. So you just gotta auto attack Born Spear. We're just using the same rune again. It's just incredibly powerful. It's just gonna hit like an absolute truck. Gonna use Corpse Explosion. Even if you don't get the gloves, I would still go for Corpse Explosion just because it just deals so much damage. We're gonna go for Blood Rush for the mobility. You can go for Aura of Frailty to kill them just a little bit faster, or you can go for Decrepify. Enfeeblement. The enemy's movement speed get reduced by 75% and reduces damage of affected enemies by 30%, so it's a really nice damage mitigation. If you combine that with Enfeeblement, they're basically stunned, and then it's gonna decay to the normal potency over 5 seconds. So they cannot move, and it's gonna decay. So this is an incredibly good skill as well. Or you can go for Aura of Frailty. It just depends on if you can survive. Dislocation, again, for the 30% damage reduction. This is just an amazing skill to have. And then again, it's basically always the same passives. You can also choose for Spreading Malediction and Eternal Torment here. For the Maltorius, the Bone Spear weapon. It's absolutely amazing. I've shown this one in all of my leveling guides because for some reason I just always got them. This is actually footage from my 44 minutes clear 1 to 70, so if you haven't watched that already on my channel, I highly suggest you do because it's a lot of good information. But what you're basically gonna do, your Bone Spear just deals an insane amount of damage. You're just gonna line everything up and you're just gonna blow everything up. It's just so much damage that you have. This was one of the easier ones. I think Blood Nova is still easier and stronger. But this one is very easy to play as well. You're not really doing much. You have to auto attack to keep your essence up. You're just throwing Bone Spears through as much enemies as you can. And really, you're not doing that much more. You're just creating corpses and then you blow the corpses up. Something that I didn't say with the Blood Nova, what you could also do is go for the Phylactery if you have some blood shards left. If you went for the Grasp of Essence and you still have some blood shards left, what you could do is go to level 35, go to Kadala, and try to get the Iron Rose. It's a Phylactery. What I would probably also change is not go for the Leech Curse, but I would go for Decrepify. I was actually doing a lot of testing with these builds, and I do believe Decrepify is actually stronger than Leech. Leech does give you some nice regeneration, but the flat damage reduction and the movement speed slow from Decrepify is maybe more valuable than the Leech rune. So there you go, you just blow everything up. The Bone Spear, it's nice and easy. Throw Bone Spears, very straightforward. And once you see you die too many times, sometimes it's better to just go back. It just means that your gear is now getting out leveled. You need to go back to the merchants, buy your gear, and just, you know, refresh. For the Reilena's Shadowhook, every point of maximum essence increases your damage by 0.5% and Bone Spike generates 5 additional essence for each enemy hit. So what I did here, I'm actually using the exact same setup that I would use for the Maltorius, the Bone Spear weapon. The only difference that I would make is overwhelming essence. It's gonna increase your maximum essence by 40, and of course, as you read here, your damage is increased the more maximum essence you have. Normally you have 200, now you have 240. That's 20% increased damage, so now you have a 120% increased damage on all of your abilities. You really want to pair that up with the Grasp of Essence, so I really hope when you get unlucky and get the Shadowhook, you at least got lucky with the Grasp of Essence, because this multiplier combined with this multiplier is still a lot of damage. Now, I thought it would actually be worse, the Shadowhook, but it actually works kind of okay. And then we have the Shadowhook. Now, as you can see, I'm playing on Torment 5. I do believe Torment 6 is just a little bit too hard for the Shadowhook. You only gain 100 increased damage on all of your skills with the Shadowhook. Once you get the Overwhelming Essence, you will get 120% increased damage. Your Corpse Explosion with the gloves will deal a lot of damage, but you need to be able to create the corpses first before you actually have something, you know, with that damage multiplier. So I just felt in Torment 5 it was just a little bit easier. I noticed you still level quite fast on Torment 5, so it's not really that big of a deal. Now, please do keep in mind that Season 22 you can always go for some shrine locations, some shrine runs, because you will get the shadow clones. I do believe this will still be faster because the Necromancer does have, you know, just with the Corpse Explosion and the extra damage from Shadowhook, it's still, I believe, more efficient than to go for the shrine locations. But I just want to give you that option that you could potentially do that if you would like that. So the idea is here just to hit as many enemies as possible with the Bone Spear, just the same as you would do with the Maltorius, to create the corpses, and then you just blow them up. Now, your Corpse Explosion does do a insane amount of damage. But to my surprise, the Shadowhook, I actually thought it would be worse. It plays pretty much the exact same as you would play with the Bone Spear weapon, the Maltorius, but it's just a little bit less strong. But you do play the exact same. And here I do use the Decrepify because it is the better rune, the better curse. I mean, sorry. Even if you didn't get the Grasp of Essence, I would still use Corpse Explosion just because it's, you know, incredibly strong. So it's always gonna be a viable option. Here again, just try to hit as much enemies as possible, and once you get the corpses, you're just gonna see everything disappear. And then you're just kind of go in. We're level 21, so Torment 6 or Torment 5, you're not really gonna feel a huge difference in EXP. Of course, it is different, but you are able to keep your Massacre bonus up a little bit easier. And of course, because your damage is less high with, for example, the Blood Nova, you're just gonna explode everything. It's pretty hard to keep a Massacre bonus up because everything on screen is just disappearing. With this build, your damage isn't as high, which means that you can kite people around a little bit easier, and you can actually keep your Massacre bonus up just that little bit easier. So it does have some benefits to it as well. As you can see, we're level 26. It still goes very fast. This is with the Shadowhook. And to my surprise, it's actually pretty good leveling with it. I was kind of scared and I was hoping that I would not get the Shadowhook when leveling. But once I actually played with this, I felt a lot more confident, and I wouldn't mind it if I would get it. I hope I don't get it in the season, but if I got it, it's actually quite alright. And that's actually so fun about testing all these things out. You are prepared and you just know, okay, when I get this in the season, I know I can do this. And that's just, I don't know, in my opinion, really fun to do. Because our damage is definitely falling off now a little bit. We already gained a lot of levels, so at this point, once you get to like the 26 mark and above, you might want to reconsider going back. I just wanted to show you guys the weapon, of course, and what it can do. But most likely you should look to go back somewhere around this point. Definitely, well, once you've got the Cursed Chest event, you might want to go back. And that's what I do. And then I decide, nope, okay, let's not, because I just want to showcase the build, I guess. I decrepify everything so they deal less damage. I throw the golem for the corpses, and I just blow everything up. And there you have the build. Level 29, not bad. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys in the next one.